The title of my movie is Imposter, and the slogan is Hidden in Plain Sight. The running time is 5 minutes, and the narrative is, in the beginning, Zara is dropped off at the optician's to receive laser eye treatment. She's originally dropped off by Jonathan, her boyfriend, but she's picked back up by the imposter. She doesn't realise this because after the surgery her eyes are like cloudy, so she gets contact lenses to put in when she gets home. In the middle, she puts the contacts in upstairs, and then she goes downstairs to see Jonathan, or who she thought was Jonathan, but it's not actually Jonathan, it is the imposter. And when she realises, she does panic a little bit, but she manages to calm herself down. She walks back upstairs and goes into the bedroom where she's pacing up and down. In the end, she returns upstairs, like I said. She's pacing up and down. She even looks in a picture book to make sure that her mind isn't playing games on her, but it is in fact not Jonathan. Because she's making so much noise upstairs, the imposter goes upstairs and knocks on the door and is like, "Are you okay?" And she tries to play it cool, but he catches on and he forces his way in, and then he attacks her to the point where she's unconscious. So we skip to the next day and she wakes up and she's shackled to the bed, and then he comes in and is like, "Good morning, babe." And that's like the end, so it's sort of a scary ending. The originality is the movie looks at how a physical defect, aka Zara's poor eyesight, puts her in like a bad situation. The inspiration for my movie is taken from Hush, which is about a woman who's deaf, and this guy tries to get into a house and kill her. And that also looks at how a physical defect affects someone, and I really like that idea. And I want to take visuals from the TV series Luther, because I think it's really beautiful, the way it looks so realistic, unlike shows like Hollyoaks, which look really fake in my opinion. And the purpose is to create a thrilling, unique movie to return it to a full-length feature film at some point. These are the character breakdowns. Zara is a 22-year-old average, a woman with average income. I said she's Asian Italian, but that is just like a bit extra. She suffers from poor vision, like I said, to the point where she needs corrective eye surgery. I said that a good actress to play her would be Marianne Cotillard, because her performance in Inception was really good. The next characters are Jonathan and the imposter. They're both black males, tall, large build, and they must both look very similar, otherwise there wouldn't be a way for the imposter to trick Zara. Even though she has bad vision, she'd still be able to tell from his physique, so we assume that he looks the same. I'd say that Idris Elba would be a good actor because he's played dark and mysterious roles in other movies before. Here are my storyboards. On some of these I use a lot of close-ups, like here, and here. I use the close-ups because it's good at showing emotion and it's very raw and in the face. In these close-ups I had some shots, this one here and here. They're done from a low angle to make it appear as though we're like sneaking on her. We're like looking so she can't see us, but we're watching her panic. I thought that was really cool. And again, on these end ones I use close-ups and a lot of medium shots because she's the main focus and I wanted her to be really in the shot. For the costumes designs, I used average designs because they're simple characters. The movie takes place in a home, so there wouldn't really be anything fancy. So here's just some examples of what they would be wearing. For the lighting plans, I decided to use as much natural light as possible, so it looked more realistic, like Luther. I only used full 3-point lighting in areas where it was really dark, such as the middle one there, because there's no natural light coming in. I needed to use more lights, but otherwise I used as much natural light as possible coming from the windows. For the production schedule, as you can see, the pre-production is 14 days long. I didn't want to have it too long because it's only a short movie, so you wouldn't really need that much time. I've got things like script writing, at the beginning because that's part of the planning phase, and then in the middle you have things like casting and funding, and then at the end you have costume design because they're done close to the time. For production, it's only 3 days long because again it's in one place, and there aren't that many actors or actresses, so we don't really need that much time. And then for post-production, editing takes up a lot of time as well as ADR because you want to make sure it's at a good quality. And then near the end I have things like CGI and graphics and test screening, and you'd only really do that after you've almost completed the editing or have completed the editing. Here's my 2-minute scene. Oh my God, wait. Where's the sound, sir?
Jonathan, how are you doing?
You want coffee or tea?
Actually, I don't feel too well. I'm going to bed. Yeah?
You okay?
I'm fine.
Laura.
No, I'm naked. Dr. Diane, there's an imposter in my house.
Oh my God. Okay. For the budget, as you can see, all the prices are pretty low. That's because it is a very small scale movie, so I wouldn't really need that much money involved. So I have like £255 there. It's not very high, as you can see. For my target audience, I said that it would be 17 to 27-year-olds because the content is pretty mature. There's themes such as domestic abuse, and the storyline is really complex. So anyone that was younger, say 14, probably would find it harder to grasp the concept of the movie. And also, because it's domestic abuse and very serious themes, I think exposing it to young kids wouldn't be like really good. For my development, I said I'd like it to be turned into a full-length feature film at some point, or adapted into a drama on Netflix, and again take a lot of inspiration from Luther because that is a really good series. For screening and distribution, I said it would originally air on Channel 4 at 7 p.m. In between Hollyoaks and the news, and it could also be put on Netflix or other streaming sites such as YouTube. For legal and ethical, I said there's things such as copyright, so I've got to make sure I don't have logos in my movie. I said because the antagonist or the imposter is black, it might bring up racial like arguments saying that I could be being racist, but I would make sure to make everyone aware that there is no like correlation between the imposter being black and him being abusive. It just so happens that he's black and he's abusing Zara, and Jonathan is a really caring guy, which you would see if it was a longer movie. So yeah, I would make sure that is covered. Also, because there's domestic abuse involved, it might be good to add a helpline at the end, like on EastEnders, so that anyone that might be experiencing it could phone up and seek some help. Please fill out my questionnaire. Thanks for listening.